The founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, has a net worth of 117 billion US dollars. You, on the other hand, right now, you are most likely unemployed. You probably don't have much savings if you obtained one from the university degree you studied for. Your living expenses appear to be absurd, excessive. You have the impression that you are underpaid. You may have credit card debt that has to be paid off, or you may be a student pursuing a degree in hopes of landing a job that pays well. You probably don't have a lot of money, only a pesky student debt hanging above your head, wealth, getting rich. That all seems like a distant dream. How did they do it? You ask yourself, seeing all those millionaires, billionaires, especially the ones who got there at such a young age. It baffles you. It makes you angry. They got lucky. They were born into wealth. They cheated their way to it. That money is evil. And you are not smart enough to just unlucky. Those dreams you had of buying that mansion, your favorite sport car, paying off your mortgage, traveling around the world, don't forever remain that way. Just dreams, nothing more, nothing less. You come to the harsh realization it's a rigged game. It's been a rigged game from the start, and you are on the losing side of it. But what if I told you you are wrong? What if there was a way of getting there? An actual question to wealth, a science behind the way money works. What if you don't have to abandon those dreams of paying off your parents' mortgage or traveling around the world? Would you call me a liar for saying so? I promise that I'm not. And by the end of this video, you'll understand there's a side to the coin that you are not being shown. But I warn you, the road is tough. It's filled with struggles. It's filled with ups and downs. It will be swallowing some of difficult truth that the school system and the society haven't told you yet. And let me be clear, there are many of you who will not make it to the end of this road. But for those of you that do, at the end of this road lies the wealth beyond what you thought you could attain. At the end of this road lies the freedom of never having to worry about money again. Let's not waste more time then. What do you really think about money? Is it something you work for? Is it earned, or is it inherited? Is it the root cause of all evil? Are you desperate to have some of it? Have you been chasing it most of your life? Truth is, most of what you think about money has been influenced by your upbringing and environment. If you were born into a family that didn't have much money growing up, then you are more inclined to believe that you too will not grow up into so much money. Or perhaps you went on the complete opposite end and decided to make as much money as you can so that you will never be in that position again. The fact that your school didn't teach you much about this subject doesn't help things. And because of this, most of you are going to have false beliefs about money that aren't going to help you on this journey. Now stick with me, because you're gonna have to change the way you've been seeing money your whole life. Hollywood has always had a habit of depicting the wealthy and the rich as evil, backstabbing, entitled, or corrupt individuals. A recent report released by WorldX showed that of the world's ultra-wealthy are those that had a net worth of 13 million or more. That is, 68% of them were self-made. And it seems like every other study backs up this inclusion. Warren Buffett, self-made billionaire. Harvard Charles, born in poverty. Oprah Winfrey, born in poverty. Jeff Bezos, self-made billionaire. Elon Musk, self-made billionaire. Sarah Blankley, self-made billionaire. What is that these people know that you don't know? Truth is, your equation is all wrong. Here is the two-dimensional equation that you've been taught. Money equals salary, and from a job, the prospect of getting a job becomes the sole purpose of your education. So what's wrong with that, you ask? I'm going to assume that if you're watching this or listening to this for that matter, you want to make money, a lot of it, and in a short amount of time possible. That is your goal, then this equation for generating money will never get you there. We all have one precious resource, the most important resource of all, and once it's gone, there is no way of getting it back. The resource is time. I repeat, the resource is time. In a standard job, the amount of money you earn is dependent on the amount of time you put into that job. If you earn $20 an hour and worked for 40 hours a week, it will make you nearly 24 years to reach a total of $1 million US. But what is this without subtracting any taxes or any expenses that you will incur over 24 years? And let's not forget that inflation will make your $1 million less valuable. The reality is that on a salary of $20 per hour, you can only rely to be a millionaire at the old age by living frugally. And most of the precious resources known as time has slipped through your fingers. You traded all that time for money, and it wasn't even a substantial amount either. No gain. You ask yourself, how is it then that there are self-made millionaires and billionaires at such a young age? What makes them so different? And the truth is, they have a better equation than you. They have a way of understanding money that you haven't. Pay very close attention now. Stop chasing money. In a capitalist society, the rules of the game are as follows. You are paid in a proportion to the perceived value that you have and the people that receive your value. They are the markets, the consumers of the economy. The market is you, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your country. People complain that football players are overpaid. But for players to be paid millions, there have to be a market for the football industry in the first place. People have to see the value in football in the first place for them to want to spend money on matches and merchandise. And if the market has a high demand for football, guess what happens to the players who are at the top of their game? They are paid generously, for it's not about how hard you work. The cleaner that sweat and tire himself out every day is paid far less than the amount paid to an accountant sitting behind the desk. Why? Because the market perceives the value of what the cleaner does not to be far less than the accountant. As harsh as it may sound, the cleaner can be replaced by anybody. It isn't difficult to learn how to do his job, and therefore the market will not pay him more than the accountant. The guy who spent years studying numbers, the guy who has saved his client 1,000 on their taxes. But even so, we just discussed how getting a job isn't the right equation to amassing a great amount of wealth in a shorter period of time. So then, how can we increase our perceived value? What is it about people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos that make their perceived value so high? The first step to this equation of wealth is quite simple. If you want money, solve problems. If you take a second to digest this statement, you will realize that just about all money runs from this basic promise. If it's $1 million problem, then the solution will make you millions. If it's $1 billion problem, then the solution will make you billions of money. Think about all those problems that a site like Amazon solve. The hassle of going to a store, that hassle of having to wait weeks for delivery, cheaper prices and so on, not to mention all the other companies that Amazon owns and the problems that those companies solve. Jeff Bezos helped solve $1 billion problem and was rewarded favorably for doing so. If you've been chasing money, then you've been doing it all wrong. It sounds almost paradoxical, but if you want money, it isn't money that you should be looking for. You should be looking for problems and, more importantly, solution to those problems. And once you found those solutions, make a business around it. Wait. So it's just about solving problems and money will appear? So I'm gonna have to create the next Amazon for me to be rich? Or the next Facebook or Google? You've got to be kidding me, right? I don't even know how to code. I don't even have the money to start something of that scale. You are one, small going into old patterns of thinking. Start with a problem. Always start with a problem. Listen to the market. What are people saying they don't like? What are people saying they wish existed? What are people saying frustrates them? What do people think is increasingly inconvenient? Is that a problem that you can solve, and also is it a problem that is worth solving? The final step of this equation to wealth is finding a scalable solution to the problem. Your solution needs to affect a magnitude of people. Starting a restaurant, that's not scalable. You are constrained to the local area and the footfall of the area, but a franchise, now that's more scalable. In a piece of software, then that means once that software has been built, you can scale it infinitely online without needing to worry about things like production or shipping costs, as it's all done virtually. Good luck finding infinite scale with a job. Does your solution require your time to generate money? Let's say you are a yoga teacher that charges $100 per hour. Congratulations, you only made yourself another job disguised as a business. There's only a certain amount of lessons that you can fiercely do in one day, and therefore your income is time bound. But if you create an online yoga class that runs 24/7 with the lessons you only had to create once, now that is scalable. Scaling your solutions is critical here, so do not get lost on this point. Automation also plays an important role. System and processes will keep your business running like a smooth machine if implemented properly. If there is something in your business that you can outsource to somebody else or hire an employee to do it for you, assuming it financially makes sense for you to do so, then do it. Tasking yourself with everything is a bad thing. As much as you may think you are the best, there are someone out there that can do a better job than you once you found a solution. It's your job to make sure that solution can be accessed by everyone in your market. It's not about your ego, and it's not about what you are passionate about. The market doesn't care about your passions. So now that you have your profitable business running with the right system and processes in place, it's time to move on and reap what you sowed. There are two likely paths that you're going to face at this point. You either continue your business or cash in and sell it. This is the equation. The moment someone buys the solution that you spent years building, this is Instagram being acquired by Facebook for $1 billion US. This is PayPal being sold to eBay for $1.5 billion US, of which $165 million went straight to Elon Musk's pocket, and the countless other liquidation events that happened across the world. This is where all the efforts that you spent into building your company comes into fruition. And if you choose to continue running your business, well, there's a multitude of reasons for you wanting to do so. Maybe you love the company that you built or want to stick with your baby. Maybe you think can add more value to the company and sell it down to the line for more than it's currently worth. Perhaps that business runs passively in the background, so you don't have to do much to keep the wheels running. Or maybe it's a combination of these three things. Either way, you did it. You solved a problem that the market wanted solving, and it will audit you favorably for doing so. And so now I ask you, what was it all for anyway? For most of you, it was never about money. Money is just a piece of paper, a number on a screen. Its value is only backed up by all belief in its value from the very start. This was never about the money. Paying off the mortgage, buying your dream car, traveling around the world, never having to worry about your financial situations. It's the freedom that you are looking for. Your destination wasn't anything monetary related. It was a feeling, a sensation, the ability to do what you want, whenever you wanted, without ever having to cost the thought towards, can I afford this? Have I used up all my holidays for this year? How am I going to pay the rent? Will I be able to live off my pension? What dreams will I have to sacrifice because I can't afford to pursue them? The most important lesson from this video was never about the nature of money. It was about the one value resource that we will have. The one resource we will never be able to reclaim. Time is giving up a large chunk of your time towards a job that you probably don't like. Worth it is your life settled on working, coming home, watching the telly, sleeping, waking up the next day and repeating the same cycle till you retire. How many more hours of your life do you let slip through because of this pattern? Or perhaps you are fine with that reality. Or perhaps you have no other choice but to follow that path for the time being. And if that's the case, there's nothing to worry about. The most you got from this video was a little entertainment and maybe a change in perspective. But there are those of you that understand the other side. Those of you that have the desire to never need to worry about money ever again. And so I feel the need to remind you, stop chasing money, chase problems and find solutions to those problems. This is the equation through which all money is found. If you desire liberty through never needing to worry about money ever again, then let solving problems be the meaningful struggle in your life. Doesn't mean you'll be happy at the end of the road. Doesn't mean you'll feel fulfilled. Only you can answer that question. But if your struggle is meaningful, then perhaps it's worth it. And there is your equation to wealth. Thank you so much for creating your time to listen to what I had to create for you. I hope it will help you in becoming a millionaire you desire. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for better, more and more videos to inspire you.